LakeCumberlandSports.com. Don't miss a touchdown, three-pointer, home run, or goal. Local sports with a local flavor.
What?
Streamed globally. And now, it's time.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Lake Cumberland Sports, Kentucky High School Athletic Association.
Now I can hear. We ready to go?
We had to bring Mike Curry into the broadcast here. We was talking to each other, and he couldn't hear us.
I still think you've got one of those buttons that is not fully functional. It's showing the color. But hey, everybody, we're through with the technical talk. Good evening. Welcome to Lake Cumberland Sports coverage of high school football tonight. Week 2 of the playoffs get started across the state of Kentucky, and after tonight, the numbers will dwindle. There will be 8 teams left in each classification, and everybody that's left after tonight will be start talking region championships and trips to the big dance. And so tonight, very important football game between Madison Southern. They come in at 5-6 off a win over South Laurel in their opening playoff round. Pulaski County comes in 7-4 with a relatively easy win over West Jessamine last week here at PC Field. These two teams haven't played this year, didn't play last year, but for about the last 10 or 12 years, they've seen a lot of each other, Chris. We had the Damian Harris era where some of the guys that are being recognized here tonight, the 2014 championship team is going to be recognized, state championship team, might I add. They played Damian Harris. There's something that some of them will tell you that they played him 5 times in his 4 years over there, counting playoff games, and they were 5-0 against Madison Southern when Damian Harris played over there. That's saying a lot. But these two teams have had some dandies, and this year Madison Southern got off to a really slow start. They were 0-3, and all of a sudden, here late in the season, they've strung 3 in a row together. They've changed offensive coordinators. They come over here tonight with every intention of giving Pulaski all they want.
They do, Mike. And Pulaski is 12-1 against this bunch since 2011. All that doesn't include the Damian Harris type games in there. I don't believe, but
yeah, they're in there.
It's okay. So 12-1 against this bunch. So you have a little bit of maybe a little mind over matter type thing, play a little mind games with this team coming in, and you obviously get them at home, and that's big. In this time of year, playoffs, you don't have to travel. You get to stay on a routine, and the Maroons have been good here at home this year. Only losing one game, and it was against a team that we may get to face next week.
Yeah, we'll go into the playoff picture here after we get some of the homework out of the way. Yeah, we used to know how this worked because everybody in the East played in the East till it was over, and next week's region championship game would have been a game between theoretically Southwestern and Pulaski County. That's theoretically, because now since they've done what they've done, next week they go to the RPI. And Pulaski County will not play Southwestern. Anybody who's thinking that's going to happen, it's not.
Right.
They are 2 of the lower seeds in the RPI in the East, and one of them, if everything holds, going to get the free trip to Cooper, excuse me.
Yeah, it goes to Cooper, who's the overall number 1 seed in 5A, according to RPI.
And the other one is probably going to get, depending on how things go, the winner of the Woodford County Fort Thomas Highlands football game. So Scott County could mess that up. Everything could go crazy. We'll try to keep up with that as the night goes on. Really nothing we can do about it. You do this game, you get this one behind you. If you get a win, you start looking late tonight at scores.
What we can guarantee with only the 100% certainty that we can is that the Maroons will be on the road next week.
There is no doubt, and so will the Warriors.
And so will the Warriors. So that's just the way it's going to be.
And Somerset is probably, if they should beat the Polar Bears of Bracken County tonight, they probably would be on the road next week. This could be everybody goes away at the same time.
So we're going to lead in, since you just kind of rolled us right into that. You've done some homework this week.
That's scary.
And there was an Aflac trivia question a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And I set you up for failure. That's on me.
No.
But you came back, and the question that I posed was, when was the last time, or how many times, you even went a little bit further, that all three local teams hosted a first-round playoff game?
Just going back 10 years and did a little looking. Somerset has hosted a first-round playoff game 6 times.
Right.
Pulaski has hosted a first-round playoff game in that 10-year span 8 times. And Southwestern has been at home week 1 of the playoffs 9 times during that 10-year stretch. I guess I say that to say this. There's 2 state championships wrapped up in that, one at Somerset and one at Pulaski in that 10-year span. We have seen some pretty good football locally. I hope we don't get spoiled, because I looked at a few other teams the last time they hosted a home playoff game. There are some schools that we think pretty highly of as football schools that haven't. They have been, the best they could do is be on the road in the playoffs, particularly if you're in District 8, which Pulaski and Southwestern are in. They've dominated the 1-2 seeds in this district for a long time. So having said all that, you gave me a chance to redeem myself. I think I got part of it right.
You won.
We'll move forward.
We'd like to thank Toyota Somerset, our title sponsor, and Ford Brothers Auctioneers, our presenting sponsor. And for those of you who thought that we might have a video game this week, we do not. We are all 3 audio.
No, Somerset is doing video.
Okay.
The Polar Bears and the Briar Jumpers are on, so we do have a video game.
So we do. So be sure to watch Wings and Rings Video Game of the Week on Lake Cumberland Sports. Our next video broadcast will not be next week, since we're all 3 on the road.
I think if everybody's alive next week, they're all on the road.
Yeah, so Wings and Rings, wings created your way, and always fresh, never frozen burgers. Our Whitest Cabinets keys to the game, and Mike sit down and talk to Coach Burns, and we'll get into that in just a few minutes, and he will more eloquently put it closer than we will. But, real quick, just keys to the game. Again, you're at home. If you take care of the football, you don't allow Madison Southern to hang around, then you should put this one away. So
you got to watch penalties. Penalties will kill drives. Madison Southern's going to try to run the football, a very similar offensive idea that Pulaski uses now. They're going to establish the run. Once they establish the run, they're going to throw the ball when they want to. Now, do they have the ability to go over the top as much as Pulaski? I don't think so.
Right.
But, again, if you can't stop the other team's run game, long night, because both coaches will hang on and keep handing it to their lead back, and each team's got a 1,000-yard rusher. And so my key to the game is watch the penalties, take care of the football, as you said, and stop the run of the other guy if you can.
So if you need new cabinets, the key is Whitest Cabinets. We value your business, offering friendly service and reliable products. Let our design experts turn your vision into reality. Visit us today at South 27 and Slate Branch Road. Whitest Cabinets, the key to your dream home. Now, Mike, I'm going to roll 2 of these together because there's some things going on here tonight that are going to change some things. Our CV Hansford starting lineups are going to be affected by our Lake Cumberland Orthopedic Sports Medicine injury report.
Correct.
And you have a couple of updates for us that we're going to be missing 1 player on defense and 2 players on offense.
Yeah, again, Pulaski County's leading tackler, Lovelace, will not be available tonight. He lower leg is the only thing I've been told, and that's where we're going with. We saw him walk off the field last week.
Right.
And on the offensive side, we saw Decker Wilden make what I'm still raving about is one of the best catches I've seen in years.
Yes.
Well, on that catch, he actually injured himself. And so he is out tonight, and Mr. Taylor will be at center again tonight. So that's pretty much our starting lineup with the regular guys added in.
Right. So C.V. Hansford of Weichert Realtors, Ford Brothers, a person you can trust when you're looking to sell your farm or commercial property. CD's experience as a successful realtor, business person, and farmer is invaluable when it comes to knowing how to get the most for your property, all the while helping you through a seamless and enjoyable transaction. For more information, give CD a call at 606-219-3274. That's CD Hansford at Weichert Realtors for Brothers. And Dr. Jesse Pace and Dr. Patrick Jenkins of Lake Cumberland Orthopedic Sports Medicine for athletes of all levels. From the weekend warrior to the professional, at Lake Cumberland Orthopedics, our goal is to get each patient back to the highest level of physical activity possible. We are proud to support local athletics by serving as team physicians for Lindsey Wilson College, Southwestern, Somerset, Pulaski, and Wayne County High Schools, and other athletes throughout the Lake Cumberland region. And, Mike, we're about 20 minutes away from kickoff. Both teams are out on the field warming up. Madison Central or Madison Southern appears to be heading back to their locker room right now. You got a whole lot of notes over there tonight. You got any nuggets or any gems that you're wanting to share?
No, I'm trying to find my lineup.
Okay. Well.
No, I'm just kidding. The other nugget I would like to share is when you get to round 2 of the playoffs, you got to beat somebody. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to anybody that was in round 1. You got to win in round 1 too. But if you look at these 2 districts, Madison Southern and South Laurel played a 2-score game, a close, relatively close football game. Everybody else, it was just, running clock. So this week you step up a notch. You've got a team that won an opening round playoff game. You've got a team that if they had any nerves or jitters or any of that stuff, it's gone.
Right.
You've already got to play. You mentioned I'm going to follow up on it. Being at home is a huge advantage in the playoffs. If you don't believe me, one year Pulaski's bunch had to go all the way to Louisville, and they wouldn't let them leave school till school was out, and I saw kids take a 3-hour bus ride, eat on a bus, get off 25, 30 minutes before they were supposed to tee it up and try to play a football game. You can't do that.
No.
That's just not. I saw this team go to Harlan County one year, and the same thing. By the time they got over there and got off the bus and got their legs under them, they were already getting hit. And so fortunately, Madison Southern only had to travel an hour.
And they were here early tonight.
They were.
I thought maybe they didn't get the memo. Thought maybe the game started at 7 because they were here and out on the field warming up almost before they'd open the gates.
Well, I guess what you do is you've got them at school. You can't dare let them go. So you feed them if you can, get them on a bus and get them over here. But we expect to see a good football game tonight. I do, anyway.
Yeah. If you're into the stats and the numbers, you're looking at 2 teams, Pulaski, as Mike said, 7-4 on the season. They're putting up 36.3 points a game. They are only allowing 15-7. So, you got a pretty good difference in score there. Rushing yards, 193, only allowing 75. They're throwing for 174 a game. And, again, we've talked about that. Very balanced, obviously. Zach Anderson, this is his second game back from the little injury that he had. Got a little bit of rust out last week. Found out that he was wearing a little sling, so maybe that was keeping the ball high. Expect him to be more accurate tonight. And they're allowing 136.
You'll hear in the coaches show, I think Coach Burns and I, maybe we talked about it off the air, I don't remember. He was talking about Anderson struggling a little bit with his, and you and I talked about it, his percentage was off from normal. I said, Coach, he threw 3 touchdowns and ran for 1. That's a pretty good night's work, isn't it? And he just looked at me and grinned. It was kind of like, okay, you got me for the first time ever. But 5-man crew tonight.
No, 7.
7 man?
There's 2
we got
in the
7?
middle. Yeah, we got 7 zebras out there tonight.
Must have been an important night.
Could be. So we are going to step out here in just a second. We're going to listen to Mike and Coach Burns give you our second-round playoff coaches show. And we come back, we'll be real close to getting things going here. We're about 16 minutes away from kickoff. You got time to come on out. And if you do, I know these boys would really appreciate it. The crowd's starting to come in. It's a beautiful night. Going to be a little bit cool, but it's November football weather. So
it should be.
That's right. That's the way it should be. So we're going to step out. We're going to listen to Mike and Coach Burns.
Welcome to the Coach Burns Show as we get ready for week 2 playoff action here at Pulaski County High School. And Coach, a team that has had a had been around a lot in Pulaski's past, but had dropped off the schedule, and all of a sudden Madison Southern shows up as your second-round district opponent, and I have a feeling you know a lot about them, and they know a lot about you. But let's step back one step. Last week, a good win, a solid. I know when I talked to you after the game, you still had that we did not play very well look, and you weren't overly pleased. I love that, by the way. And I think you've probably impressed upon your team. Maybe that effort's not good enough to keep it going. So what do you expect tonight?
Well, like you said, we didn't play.
Week, a good win, a solid. I know when I talked to you after the game, you still had that we did not play very well look, and you weren't overly pleased. I love that, by the way. And I think you've probably impressed upon your team. Maybe that effort's not good enough to keep it going. So what do you expect tonight?
Well, like you said, we didn't play up to our standard. We won the game and we won it pretty handily, but it didn't feel, look, and when you watch the film, it wasn't, what we call, Pulaski County football. So we, like you said, we pressed it. We made kind of lit a fire on them as a coaching staff hey, it's survival. It's win or go home. Regardless of who you're playing, we got to play, focus on us and play our style and brand of football. And they've done that this week. They've picked it up in practice. We've had a great week of practice. So I think you're going to see, what you typically see with Pulaski County.
When Coach Payne rolls his troops in here tonight, what am I going to see out of Madison? A running team, a throwing team, a mixture, a balanced team? What are we going to see?
Coach Payne and I are good friends. We've known each other for a long time.
Right.
And he's a great coach. He does a great job getting his kids ready. They're a running team. They want to run the football first. They're going to have a lot of, in the coaching lingo, what you say is 11 personnel. They'll have a tight end or a fullback or what we call an H-back, and they're going to use him to block, and they'll throw it just to keep you honest, just enough, and primarily they're in the shotgun. Defensively, we'll probably see an even front or a four-man front. They play a lot of basically man coverage in the back end, and then they let the linebackers take care of the running back. So that's what you're going to see. But you're going to see a team that's well coached, and they're going to fight hard and play hard, and they're looking to come and beat us.
They got off 0-3 on the season. They didn't have a whole lot going on, but end of the season, if you look at their last three games, they started throwing up quite a bit of points and pretty impressive wins the last 3 weeks. So you're catching a team who's probably playing their best football.
Yes, they've had some, changes and things within their program, and that's a sign of a good coach is, if you start out sluggish and then you come back and they're playing some of their best football, and we're excited about the challenge and we're looking forward to it.
They've got a running back in Braden Kelly that's a little over 1,100 yards on the season. I'm sure we're going to hear his name a little bit. And quarterback Baird looks like he completes about almost 60% of his passes, and he's thrown for 1,340 yards. So they can throw it a little bit when they need to.
Yeah, they, they're kind of like us. They want to establish the run, and then they'll throw it when they need to. They go back to, they're young. They were a young team, and they play a lot of sophomores, very much like we do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a sign of them maturing and growing up. And, we always kind of say that, hey, you're no longer a sophomore by this point, you're a junior. You're no longer a freshman by this point, you're a sophomore. And you're kind of seeing that with that Madison Southern team.
We haven't talked a whole lot about your defense this year. I've talked about just about every week. It seems like I've spent your time and our time talking about your offense and everything else. Your defense is only given up a little over 800 yards rushing on the season. That's 11 games. And some of that was after your ones had come to the sidelines. Your defense hadn't received enough credit from some of us over the course of this year, and I'll just give you a chance to shout them out a little bit.
Yeah, Gunnar Lovelace is the leader of that unit, and they've done a great job. I think we're averaging like 76 yards a game, something around
like
there.
that. Yeah.
You got a great defensive line. It's a different style than what you're probably used to. We play a lot of two gap, which is not very common in high school football. And so they do a good job, but also they bought into the mentality that it's 11 guys that, 11 guys running to the football, 11 guys have to fit, in their proper spot on the run, and they bought into that.
We pick a defensive player of the game every week, and that's one of the things Chris and I talk about every week, because you look around and you go, well, so-and-so did this and somebody. And we finally, at the end of it, just kind of take that got to pick somebody look, because they do. There's on a given night, there's any one of the 11 who's out there getting the job done well enough to be called player of the game. And that's what it's hard to scheme against, because it's hard for me to take something from you when somebody's willing to step in and take it right back.
Yeah, we break it down to the defense does DYJ, which stands for do your job.
Yep.
And that's kind of the mentality of our defense is, you don't have to do anything special, just make the plays you're supposed to make. And they've had a great year. So I'm really proud of them. And defensively, it's a hard scheme to prepare for, because we look so multiple. You might see us in an odd front, or you might see us in an even front, or we're playing cover 3, or we're in what we call match coverage, which is kind of like a cover 1 coverage. But it's nothing different to the kids, right? It's all the rules and stuff are built in, so it's very easy to move back and forth between different coverages or different alignments.
It's been a good run. Let's keep this thing going. We've done a lot of firsts this year. You and I have talked about first wins and first road wins and first district wins and first district championships and first playoff win. Here's your chance to move into the semifinals for the first time with a win tonight, or the quarterfinals, I guess it is, excuse me. And again, I think that's your expectation of this football team, is to move on.
Yes, it is. I told the kids last week my expectation is to be practicing on Thanksgiving.
Hey.
In my coaching career, there's only been 2 times I've never done that. So that's our expectation. That's what we're planning and striving for. We're trying to get to a region championship, something that hasn't been done in 6 years. These kids have never played in that environment. So
some of your coaches have, though.
Yeah, a lot of our coaches have, and that's good, that with that experience. So we're just looking forward to it, and we're going to try to take care of business tonight.
Let's talk about what we're going to do tonight. Brian Miller asked me to mention gates will open at 5:30. You come and tailgate before that, you'll have to be out in the outer parking lot. But again, 5:30, the admission is $8 per person. The gate is split evenly. I don't know why that is such a big discussion topic, but they pay the officials out of the gate, and then they split it evenly between the 2 schools. I don't know why that comes up, but Brian has asked me to tell people that, so we just did. And I think you're going to have some special guests here Friday night.
Yeah, we are honoring the 2014 state championship team. It's the 10-year anniversary for that team, and they deserve to be honored. It was such a winning a state championship, we tell our kids it's the hardest thing you'll ever do in your playing career, and they achieved that, in a program that had not seen that success before. So it's an honor, and they deserved to do that, and then, we're happy to do it for them.
That team reminds me a lot of this team in the fact it was hard to go pick out a player or 2 players or 3 players that say they had some outstanding football players, but they had depth across the channel on both sides of the ball. And that's what you're talking about with your team on defense, trying to pick out somebody. We struggle. That's a good problem to have, isn't it?
Yeah, you win with the middle third of your roster.
Okay.
You have your stars, and each team, the 2014 team has their stars, and this team has, their guys that score the touchdowns and do all that. But you really win with the middle third, the guys that are, a role player that you're just out there, and they do it to the best of their ability, and you can rely on them. And so, great teams have that.
Good luck tonight. Hope to talk to you in about 3-4 hours, whatever it's going to be. We'll talk about what all is going to go on the following week. But for tonight, go take care of business.
Thank you.
Coach, I appreciate your time. Best of luck. Kickoff just around the corner here on Lake Cumberland Sports.
As parents, I feel like it's important that we teach our kids about financials, about budgeting, and about savings. We offer an e-student checking account and a GPA savings account. I immediately opened up both for my daughter. She has a debit card, which I am able to turn on and off with our mobile app because I'm also on the account. She has become more mindful of her spending, which is something that we want to teach her, is to be a mindful spender and to save as much as she can.
It's a great time to get your new F-150 at Alton Blakely Ford. The Ford F-150 redefines working remotely. There's a desk inside the cab, a tailgate work surface out back, and available Pro Power onboard to plug in what you need. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. And right now, get a no-charge leather package upgrade on every purchase of an F-150 XLT at Alton Blakely Ford.
In the real world, we spend too much time waiting around and wondering if we'll ever get to be what we really want to be. Now it's time to move forward, and with a little help from Somerset Community College, you can finish that degree or start a whole new life as an IT VIP, a healthcare hero, and more in less time and for less money than you think. The time is now. The place is here. Never underestimate you.
Here at Citizens National Bank, we still take pride in treating each and every customer like we would want to be treated. Our employees are here to help you navigate the confusing lending process and determine which type of home loan best suits you. Schedule an appointment today. We have highly qualified loan officers ready to serve you.
And we're back. And, Chris, I want to thank Coach Burns for the coaches show. I was laughing. I had a whole lot of trouble talking when he and I were interviewing each other, and it wasn't anybody's fault but yours truly. But we got through it, and I think you gleaned a little something from Coach about what he expects tonight. We were both looking at our watch when that was over because he had to pick his daughter up in Garrett County at something that was going on, and he was running late, and I was supposed to be at a very important fourth grade middle school basketball game in Mount Vernon, and we were both looking at each other like, okay, we got to go now. And anyway, getting to know Coach Burns, and it's getting a little more comfortable when he looks at you and says, man, we got to go. I got to go pick up my daughter. Pulaski's going to come out. Looks like Grizz is going to lead them out again this week with the American flag, and it's become kind of a standard. But your last thoughts before we get this thing underway.
So it is a few minutes away from kickoff, 2 minutes. You know, they're both teams at midfield getting the coin toss. And it looks like Madison Southern has won the toss and will elect to receive. So one of only a few times this year that Pulaski will go on defense first, and they will be moving left to right. So they will be going from the end zone away from the field house. And we'll get to see Madison Southern on offense first. And as you talked about, you and Coach Burns, you know, the last 3 games, and they've been putting up, you know, some big points, 47, 31, and 42. So we're going to see what they're made of pretty quick.
They changed offensive coordinators.
Okay.
And D.T. Boone, who was on staff over there, and yes, you probably recognize that name if you're familiar with local football. He was a really good football player out at Southwestern and went on to Ohio University, had a nice career. He's back, and he's coaching on this. And he moved up into the OC, or the play-calling role on offense. And since that happened 3 weeks ago, the numbers, I don't think it's a coincidence. The numbers have changed. And so they come into this thinking they found something. I think this is interesting, and you help me because you understand this game, I think, better than I ever will. Pulaski will have a chance to go on defense first in a game where running the football by both teams is the highest of priorities. You have a chance to come out and stop a team in their initial drive and knowing that they're going to run the football. On the opposite side of that, if you can't stop that run, what you've created is an expectation of them to be able to run the football on you all night long. So I think the first possession, I'm not trying to hype it for any other reason, I think it's a pretty big deal.
It really is, and something that Coach Burns has done all year long, and it's worked out pretty well for him, is he's taken the ball, but he's allowed the other team to get the ball in the second half. Well, in this situation, it's going to be flipped a little bit. They're going to be able to come out and show their dominance. Like you said, you all talked about their defense a little bit, and then get the ball to begin the second half. So it could play in their favor if they take care of business.
Well, once again, we're about ready to go. Thank you for joining us. Toyota of Somerset's coverage of high school football presented by Ford Brothers Auctioneers Realtors here on LakeCumberlandSports.com. Sit back, relax. We're going to bring you the game. If Chris can read the numbers on Madison Southern's jerseys, I'm going to be happy. But right now, we're ready to go.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle because they're a white jersey with orange numerals, and the numerals aren't very big. But it looks like to me that R.J. Blair and Braden Hall will be standing back about their 10-yard line, and Idawine will put his foot to it. And like he did last week, he drives Blair all the way back to the 2-yard line. He comes out right up the hash marks, and he gets drugged down at about the 23-yard line, and that's where the Eagles will take over. They're going to give him the 24, Mike, so give him a return of 22.
Yep, Pulaski, we didn't give you this. They're in their traditional home maroon jerseys, silver helmets. I think those are white pants tonight, not silver. And Madison Central's in white pants, white tops, white helmets with orange numerals and trim, and that ought to be Madison Southern. I said Central. I hope I don't do that again.
Gabe Beard will open up at quarterback, pistol formation. He's going to turn around and give it to his running back, and somebody reached up and grabbed a shoulder pad, and it was like he was attached to a chain and just got ripped back for no gain on the play.
Wow, I thought there was a little bit of a seam there, and then all of a sudden, like you said, the hand of death came out. And
Braden Kelly got the carry. They'll give him one. I think Broderick was the one that reached up there and grabbed him. And Colton Kane has moved to the middle linebacker spot instead of Gunner, and Idawine and Braden Ping are at your other linebackers. Southern opens up. 2 receivers to the left now after motion. Blair is going to step back and complete the pass, and Hall, who got the pass, was immediately stopped. Gavin Atwell hit him and drove him back, and the leading running back.
He lost about 3 on that, my son.
For the Eagles, Kelly lost about 3 yards, and he's slow to get up.
Wow. Pulaski was ready for that. I looked down on the sidelines. The man who calls their defensive plays, Gomer, was down there just screaming about the 25-yard line. I think what they were looking for, that player, have we got an issue with player having to be helped off the field?
Yeah, that was Hall who got the reception, and he is walking
He's not
off.
very big either. No, there he breaks into a jog. You like to see that.
No. He was walking off on, I think he's trying to get some cobwebs shaken out of his headgear right now. But
too early for me to say this is a big third down call?
It's too early.
Okay. This is just a third down play then. Third and about 12 or 11, yeah.
Ball sets at the 23-yard line, and Beard comes out, pistol formation. He's going to send Maynard in motion from left to right, that H-back position, straight back to pass. Now he's flushed out. Finds his running back out here in the near flat, and again, the Maroons are there to...
That's Kelly and...
Yeah, Braden Kelly. So he's thrown 2 balls to his running back, or gave one to his running back, thrown to a receiver, and he got the loss of yards, got the 2 yards on the play. But Idawine was there immediately, and another big hit, and will set up 4th down.
It's almost like Pulaski read the book on those 3 plays.
So R.J. Blair will be the punter, stands at his own 10-yard line, and Kaysen Brock and Finley are back, but they're not even going to get a chance. It's a low roller that rolls out of bounds. And, Mike, this is something that Pulaski has had all year long, and that's great starting field position. And they're going to get the ball either right at the 50-yard line or into Madison Southern's territory.
Coach Burns and I talked about that off the air. The fact that they had been playing well enough on defense and special teams that they've had an advantage on field position on a lot of possessions. And this one, right at the stripe.
Anderson opens up in the shotgun. He's got Idlewild and Brock in the backfield with him and hands the ball off to Case and off the right side, and he drags a tackler for 5 yards as he got hit right at the line of scrimmage and give him 5 on the carry.
Yeah, Brock is a feature back who hasn't had his legs taken away from him yet this year. He's not had that many carries to put up, and he's still pretty fresh.
Well, Anderson will shift to a pistol formation. Brock straight behind him. Idlewild, lead blocker on the left, and he gets a block and springs Casey around the end, but he gets tripped up just across the 45 down to about the 42-yard line, give him a gain of 3, and we'll set up the first third down for the Maroons.
Really nice job, Idlewild, to seal the edge there, though, and nice job by Madison Southern to have people filling on the outside, or that one had a chance to go.
So just underway here in the first quarter, 9 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Scoreless ball game, Pulaski's first possession. Anderson, shotgun, hands to Brock for the third time off the right side, and he's into the secondary before he gets any contact. He'll get down to about the 32-yard line, give him a gain of 10 on third down, and that's enough for the Maroons' initial first down of the ball game.
And once again, Pulaski, Coach Burns, did he say something about establishing the run?
I think he did.
I think he did, as best I remember. They have shown right now that they're just going to say, okay, stop the run. That means you're going to have to add more bodies in the box. Once you start adding bodies in the box, you may see the passing game.
Well, right now, Idlewild comes in motion, shotgun formation, handoff to Brock for the fourth time around the right side. He shakes the tackler at the point of contact, drags another tackler across the 25 down to about the 23-yard line. So give him close to 8 or 9, depending on where they spot it. We got a flag here on the near sideline, though, Mike.
Holding against the offense.
First laundry of the evening.
Well, and that may have been a block in the back, depending on where the call came from. Yeah,
they called a hold.
I thought they called a hold too, but
so the nice run by Brock will be nullified, and now the Maroons will be behind the chains.
And our keys to the game, our widest keys to the game, you and I talked about penalties.
We did.
There's your first one.
And I did not let you know that we had the Intrust Healthcare kickoff to open this game. I'll do that now as the Eagles show pressure right up the middle. Anderson back to pass. He's got plenty of time. Denmeyer behind the defense, and a beautiful pass.
42 yards.
From Anderson to Denmeyer at the 2-yard line. And just like that, our first Citizens National Bank touchdown of the game, the 7:56 mark of the first quarter. Maroons jump on top 6-0.
Denmeyer just floated through the Rick Barker red zone on his way to the touchdown. That was a beautifully thrown football, and you had one-on-one coverage over the top on Denmeyer.
Yeah, and he beat the defender. He was 5 yards behind him. Another snap wide, but Harris is able to collect it, get it down, and Mounts' PAT is up and good. And on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard, 7:56 to go here in the first quarter. Maroons lead it 7-0.
Well, we talked about, would the first possession for each team go the way they wanted? For Mad South, no. For Pulaski, just as you scripted. Intrust Healthcare Counseling Services made it their mission to be the trusted leader in promoting mental health in Kentucky for the last 25 years. We personalize your services to meet your needs, whether they be in our office, over the phone, or on the computer. Call Intrust, 606-676-0638. To get services started today from anywhere in Kentucky. You can always visit their Facebook page at Intrust Healthcare Counseling Service to learn more about how they can help you or your family today. At Intrust, your mental health matters. We also want to thank the Don Franklin family of dealerships, the official photography sponsor of Lake Cumberland Sports. At Don Franklin, they work daily to provide their customers with the best possible experience You can visit any one of the 5 Somerset locations or go on Facebook at Don Franklin Somerset Family of Dealerships, where they'll treat you like family. Partner, 7-0 Pulaski leads on the Randall E. Turpin CPA scoreboard. And if you're Madison Southern, it's awful early to say you need to put a drive together, but you need to put a drive together.
And good to see Braden Hall has checked back into the game for the Eagles. He stands back at about his 5-yard line, and this is a squibber that I don't know if Idlewild just missed. He's been kicking it well, but on the Entrust Healthcare kickoff, it's going to be fielded right at the 30-yard line by Gabe Thompson. And
you know, the original return went out to about the 26, 7, whatever it was. So maybe Pulaski looked at it and said, let's just squib this thing and not give him a chance to break one. I don't think so. I think he missed it between you and I.
So Beard brings the offense back out, pistol formation, and going to turn around and hand it off to Braden Kelly, and he dances around the backfield, may give him 1 on the carry, Mike.
Tough sledding.
Yeah, so he will. Colton Kane is in there to bring him down. They will spot the ball at the 30-yard line, so brings up 2nd and 9.
Look at the press coverage out here is what I was looking at, and the no safety anywhere near being over the top as Pulaski Atwell out here on an island.
Finley's playing center field. They give the handoff to Kelly off the right side. He gets around the edge, and he had one man to beat, Mike, and it was going to be a foot race, but he gets pushed out of bounds over there by Brock and Finley, but he's going to pick up about 8 and will set up 3rd and short yardage. Ball spotted at the 38.
I was waiting to see why the down marker didn't move on up.
He was waiting, make sure no flags, doing his job.
That's what he's ahead of me.
So same pistol formation. Maynard goes in motion from right to the left as a lead blocker.
No.
And Kelly is hogtied behind the line of scrimmage by the entire front defensive line.
He did not pick it up.
He did not.
The
gain.
spot might be. No, it's not going to be.
Yep, no gain.
All right, it's 4th down. It's 4th and short. You have still got 6:50 and change to play in the opening quarter, and you're going to go for it.
Coach Payne
is this a hard count, or are you really going for it?
Well, their quarterback is under center for the first time. They got an unbalanced line and quarterback sneak. And
maybe got it.
Yeah, he's going to be – he needed the 39. Looks like he's got the 40. So give him 2 on the carry. And it was like he got up under center, and it was a quick count. And you see the tush push in Philadelphia. It's not allowed in high school.
Right.
But
Pulaski's defensive front was still setting.
Yeah.
If you notice, they were still in their shifts. Good job to get the snap off and the first down for Mad South, and now they've got decent field position and a chance to put that drive together we talked about.
So Beard breaks the huddle, and this time he's got Kelly straight behind him, pistol formation. No lead blocker this time. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, single coverage. Beard throws it high, and Finley playing center field goes up and picks it off, Mike, and it's going to be to the 20. He gets caught from behind and gets drugged down at about the 12-yard line. But Cohen Finley was just sitting back there in center field, and Beard threw it better to him than he did a receiver.
Nice catch by Finley.
It was, and he high-pointed it, went up, bingo.
Probably 40 right at on the return.
Oh, yeah, every bit of it, because about the 40-yard line, and he takes it down to the 12. So the Maroons are already in the Rick Barker red zone.
We said something about turnovers in our keys to the game.
1-0 right now. Shotgun formation. Brock lines up on the right shoulder of Anderson. Takes the handoff around the left side, trying to get around the corner, but Madison Southern is there to stop him for a short gain of 2. Ball at the 10-yard line. 2nd and 8. 5:41 here in the opening quarter. Maroons threatening to take a 2-score lead on the Eagles after the big turnover by Finley.
Well, when you throw high over the middle, generally bad things happen.
Early or late.
And that one was, again, Finley made a heck of a catch. It was almost too high for him.
Idawine goes in motion from left to right, heading off to Brock off the right side, and he just follows that big offensive line. He didn't even get contact until he was 5 yards down the field. We'll take it to the 4-yard line. We'll end up being 3rd and 2 for the Maroons.
That offensive line is getting some push.
Yeah, they have, for most of the year, there's only been a couple of games that they did not dominate the line of scrimmage. And early in this game, they are suiting their force. And Brock just takes it right up the middle. He breaks a tackle in the backfield, and you see it right over here. Finley just pancaked his guy and then got up and gave him another push just for good measure. And Brock, the referees are talking about it, but as it stands right now, Brock is in for the 2-yard Citizens National Bank touchdown, and they are not going to drop a hanky, so it will stand.
Pulaski was in the red zone, but not for long.
So 4:41 of the first quarter. Mounts on to attempt the PAT. Good snap, good hold, better kick right down the middle. And on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard, 4:41 remaining here in the first quarter. Maroons lead it 14-0.
Since 1979, Modern Systems has been protecting communities all across Kentucky. They're proud to be part of the communities they serve, committing time and sponsorship to numerous charities like Project 5810, Relay for Life, March of Dimes, Heart Walk, local school programs, and many more. Modern Systems, your neighbor and your friends, they work 24/7 to protect the things that matter most to you, from homes to business to schools and churches. Let Modern Systems be your trusted friend. Don't forget, at the end of this game, we'll select a Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game. We'll do that during the Alton Blakely Family of Dealerships post-game show, and I'm waiting to see how big of a hurry the officials are in. I'm going to go ahead and wait and let you get back to work.
Well, why don't we go ahead and add? We're going to add the United Cumberland Bank Defensive Player of the Game and the CAN Help Case Management Lineman of the game.
Yes. Third kickoff by Pulaski County, and we're not quite, we're under 8 minutes into this thing. How about that?
Yeah. Our Intrust Healthcare kickoff at Idawine is ready to go, and he will put his foot to it. And this one is a high end-over-end kick that will be fielded by Braden Hall at about the 10-yard line, and he goes straight up the hash mark, picking his way through some defenders. He'll get across the 25 up to about the 28-yard line, and that's where the Eagles will take over their third possession of the ball game.
Glad to see Hall. He was the one who got knocked down earlier and had to have a little help getting off the field, but he returned that one. Looked like he's no worse for wear.
He will open up in the slot here to the near side. 2 receivers both ways. Beard will have Kelly behind him in a pistol formation, hands it off to Braden, and he's going to get just across the line of scrimmage. And again, this interior defensive line for the Maroons are dominating just about as much as the offensive line at this point.
Yeah, right now, I've got him with 5 carries for 11 yards, and 9 of those came on one tote.
Right.
He's being bottled up. I think Paul Wright's helping us tonight. I think he's grabbing scores and stuff, so we'll get him in a minute.
So 2nd and 9, 3 receivers here to the near side, 1 to the far side, and pass is thrown into the Bermuda Triangle of maroon jerseys. And
I think Grizzly might have got a hand on that. It looked like 72 got a tip. Yeah, okay. I think so.
So Beard's second pass attempt is better than his first because it doesn't end up in the hands of a maroon jersey.
Right now he's thrown it 4 times for -2. He had the 2 little short ones. The one that Hall got decapitated on.
Right.
And again, they're in a situation, it's 3rd and long.
So Beard under center, going to toss it to Kelly, trying to get it around the left side, and the Maroons are up to the challenge as Finley and Idawine and Kane will be there on the stop to give Kelly a gain of,
I think the punting team is coming out.
Oh, yeah. You can't, too much. You can't give the Maroons this short of field.
Well, you got to give your
14.
defense a chance to have a longer field to defend and maybe get a stop for you.
Right. So 4th and 6, I'm sure the Maroons are prepared for any kind of fake punt. They're not going to bring a whole lot of extra pressure, as Blair will stand at his 16-yard line, and the Maroons do bring pressure, and it is a wobbly kick that will hit about the 47-yard line, and it checks up just like a good old Bellotta ball and will stay there at about the 46.
But dare I be redundant, Pulaski has great field position.
Kick of
about 26, 25.
Yeah, 26 yards.
Yeah.
And so the Maroons, again, already threatening midfield.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, the Madison Southern defense has been on the field ever since we got here.
Yeah, they're we're 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter, and they've had the ball 3 times and punted twice and a turnover, and Anderson looking to go deep again, trying to get Denmeyer on the double move, and this time Madison Southern had a safety back there that falls incomplete. And we'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you got to do that every now and then, but that one didn't have much hope.
Well, you've established the run, so you're thinking maybe that Madison Southern is going to bring some men in the box. You get Denmeyer with a double move and hit him over top on a shot play, and it just didn't work. And going to get the hard count, and the Eagles will jump offside, so you'll get a free 5 yards on 2nd down.
See Hull. Brady checks back in at left tackle. He had been out for a play.
Had a little hitch in his giddy-up getting back out there, it looked like. Brock and Idawine in the backfield. Idawine will get the carry right up the gut, Mike, and he's into the secondary. Makes a man miss at the 25. He's across in the red zone and into the end zone. 49 yards. And we are seeing the offense for the Maroons not missing a beat.
Well, you go to the 2-back set, and Brock's been being the steady diet of Brock after Brock after Brock, and you just run something quick with Idawine and nobody home.
No, and he just went right up the middle.
Literally.
A little trap play, and the defense split another high snap, and Denmeyer was able to get it up and get it down, and Mounce's kick is up and good. So 2:45 remaining here in the first quarter on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard after the Citizens National Bank touchdown. The Maroons lead this one big early, 21-0.
Henderson Chiropractic, committed to relieving your pain using the true principles of chiropractic care. Their caring, helpful team strives for excellence through extraordinary service and patient education. Dr. Henderson provides chiropractic care for injuries that occur during sports, auto accidents, work-related activities, or just everyday wear and tear. The experience you need for the results you want. That's Henderson Chiropractic. I also want to thank Rick Barker for sponsoring. He sponsors the Red Zone for us, but he also, the Rex Restaurant in Nancy, Kentucky, is the finest farm-to-table made from scratch from food right here in Pulaski County. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 8. The Rex, where we feed you good and treat you right, and it's good food. I'm just gonna go with that. So the third Citizens National Bank touchdown is on the board on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard. It's 21-0 Pulaski and partner. 2:45 to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, so Idawine will get to set to kick off the 4th time in Trust Healthcare kickoff. And this one is a low end-over-end kick that will be fielded there at about the 6-yard line by Blair. And he tries to come up the left sideline, and he is brought down at about the 22. So a gain of about 17, a return of about 17. And Finley and Ford there, and Blair is slow to get up.
Well, we talked about Pulaski's special teams all year. Their kick coverage team, they put a lot of jets on it. They put some guys that get down the field in a hurry, and so far we haven't seen anybody break one against them this year, I don't think.
No,
my memory says no.
No, you're right. They fly around, and so the Eagles will come out, Beard pistol formation again, There's Kelly behind him. We'll give it to Kelly off the right side, and he is hit immediately in the backfield by the other Finley. Broderick Finley is there, and will bring Kelly down for a loss of at least 4, maybe 5.
If you notice, the H-back pointed at the linebacker right before the snap.
He's coming.
He's coming. Well, my guess is either your job was to pick him up or somebody missed the sign because Finley came untouched.
Somebody didn't get the memo, and so 2nd and 13. Beard takes a snap, rolls to the right, still rolling, still looking, looks to throw back over the field, and this one is batted up in the air as he was under some pressure, and Bryston Brown got his big paws up in the air, and it falls incomplete and brings up 3rd and 13, Mike.
3 defensive linemen out there in the chase.
And Madison Southern they've got to regroup, and they're going to have the first Ron Shaw Realtor timeout of the ball game here with 2:03 remaining here in the opening quarter on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard. Maroons lead this one 21-0.
At Toyota of Somerset, we're known for great service before and after the sale and so much more. Since 1988, Toyota of Somerset has been supporting our local communities. And we sell and service what a number of different rating services call the most fuel-efficient, dependable, and safe vehicles on the road. Toyota. Toyota of Somerset, South Highway 27 Somerset, and online at toyotaofsomerset.com. At Toyota of Somerset, we're all about you.
Here to come in 175, here to come in 175, 2. I'm 200 down, got it here to come in a quarter.
Like successful sports programs, putting together a successful auction takes a lot of planning, organization, attention to detail, and teamwork. And you need dedicated and committed people pulling together. At Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we've been successfully selling the country since 1965. Ford Brothers Auctioneers. Give us a call or visit us online at FordBrothersInc.com.
Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we're selling the country.
And welcome back to Pulaski High School, where after the timeout, the Eagles come out, shotgun formation, and Kelly drops back to pass, trying to set up it looks like a screen, and he scrambles back. He's still going backwards, Mike, and he eventually just will throw it out of bounds and try to avoid the huge loss, potentially safety, and will bring up 4th and 13, and the Eagles are going to have to punt again.
I actually think Coach Burns was in on the end of that play. Once again, the defensive line is just blowing through the offensive front of Madison Southern. The quarterback doesn't have time to think about making a read.
Well, Blair will stand at his 5-yard line, gets it off in a hurry. This is a much better kick that's going to get all the way back to the 40, take a kind Eagle bounce, and will go out of bounds at about the 31. 56-yard punt, and tried to flip the field a little bit, but here's the thing. They're still going to get the ball at the 31-yard line, which is still good field position.
Yeah, that's a boomer, and they needed it. But the thing is, Pulaski County, and I'll give you a rundown here in a minute, but my guess says they have run 8 offensive plays and scored 21 points.
That's pretty efficient.
Well, they've got a 30-yard touchdown, a 42-yard touchdown, and a 49-yard touchdown in those.
Same formation. Anderson's going back to pass, though. He's looking for Denmeyer down the left side this time. He's behind the defense, and he will haul it in down at about the 26-yard line. And so that's going to end up being a 43-yard completion on first down. And the Maroons are in a hurry. They're back on the line of scrimmage, ready to go. 140 remaining in the opening quarter.
You've got a corner trying to play Denmeyer by himself. That's probably a tough order.
Well, shotgun formation. Anderson back to pass, sets up a middle screen. He finds Brock. Nobody around him, Mike. They designed that play perfectly, and Brock is going to take it in from 26 yards out. Anderson's second touchdown pass of the night. Cayson's second touchdown. Hey, hold it. Hold your horses.
Well, we're getting a discussion about a lineman maybe downfield.
Yep, ineligible man downfield is the call. And that may be why it was so wide open, because Brock, the entire defensive line for the Eagles was in the backfield. Anderson sold it great, Brock turned around expecting to have some white jerseys to go through, and there was nobody there because the offensive line did such a good job.
So both penalties that Pulaski's committed have canceled pretty good plays by Brock.
Yep. So it will be a 5-yard penalty. Will remain first down. 1st and 15 from the Eagles' 31. Clock starts and winds down under a minute and 30 seconds. Anderson brings Godby in motion. Will shovel pass it to him, and Godby runs into defender over there on the play. That will be the first negative yardage play for the Maroons tonight. The Eagles running back, Braden Kelly, in there to make the tackle. Going to be brought down for no gain, so it will still say 2nd and 15. Under a minute here in the opening quarter. Pulaski County High School, Kentucky High School Athletic Association second round tournament, state playoffs. Denmeyer comes in motion from left to right. Hands to Brock going the same way. He has to cut back up the middle as the Eagles contain him a little bit better, but he's going to get most of the penalty yards back. Get 5 on the carry. He'll bring up 3rd and 10 at the 26.
4-down territory, without a doubt, if you need it.
Could possibly be the last play of the first quarter. Play clock's at 23, game clock's at 17. I think they'll get at least one more snap off.
Pulaski only got off. This will be the 13th snap of the opening quarter.
Be a good opportunity. Maybe try a hard count because you don't have to take a timeout or anything. But no, you're going to snap it. Anderson drops back. Now he's flushed to his right, goes back to his left. Throws out there for Godby, who goes up and gets it, brings it in, and he's going to take it in from 26 yards out on what looked to be almost a kind of a prayer by Anderson. Godby went up and out-jumped the defender and then turned around, made a man miss, and takes it in. And with zeros on the game clock here in the end of the first quarter, Citizens National Bank touchdown, Anderson to Godby, 26 yards out.
PAT to follow.
Well, we got lights.
We got lights going
issues. It kicked me out. We've got that's
a penalty on the home team, probably.
So the extra point had a little bit more excitement than it normally does. Is the light show was going on. As the extra point team had to kick in the dark, Mike.
They nobody seems too concerned about it. So, Randall D. Turpin, keep your stats and scores correct. Important players, coaches, and fans. The same can be said about keeping your taxes and finances in order. For over 26 years, Randall D. Turpin, CPA, has been doing just that. If accounting's not your thing, and let the pros at Randall D. Turpin, CPA, do it for you. Proud sponsor of the Randall D. Turpin Scoreboard, located on Parkers Mill Road in Somerset. Well, we have played a quarter. It is 28-0 Pulaski with the lead. Pulaski has scored a touchdown on every one of their possessions. Obviously, with a bagel on the board, Madison Southern has not scored in any of their possessions. They're about to get the ball for the 5th kickoff of the opening half to start the second quarter.
Scores from the other 2 playoff games in town here. Southwestern and North Laurel knotted up in a scoreless game at the end of the first quarter. Somerset taking on Brackett County just across 80. Somerset leads 7-0 at the end of the first quarter over there. Idlewind, low line drive that's going to hit at about the 9-yard line and skip into the end zone, which will be almost out of bounds, but will be a touchback, and so the Eagles will start at the 20-yard line to start this possession.
Well, that was perfectly placed. So Pulaski's defense will come on the field leading 28-0 to start the second quarter, as we gave you no time off the clock as the kick was not received. Right now, if you're Madison Southern, you got to believe that the second quarter can't get off the scoreboard quickly enough. You need a drive. You need about 5 minutes of clock time to evaporate because Pulaski's defense has been
Lights
pretty
out.
good. Yeah, they have.
So Beard takes the snap.
There
Tried
it
to
is,
get a little
Finley.
bit of misdirection as the handoff it was faked to Kelly and then given to Hall, and
Cohen Finley
in there again for a big loss. Loss of 5.
Yeah.
The ball's back at the 15. It'll be 2nd and 15 yards. So I'll be curious, and I know you keep the stats over there. The Eagles can't have more than 20.
14.
Yeah. Okay. Over-under was 15.
Okay. I know where you were going.
Beard under center. Hands it off to Kelly off the left side. He has to work to break a couple of tackles just to get back close to the original line of scrimmage.
Got to admire that effort.
Yeah, they'll give him 4. Ball will be spotted at the 19-yard line. Bring up 3rd and 11.
It's 3rd down.
So again, the Maroons defense has shown up tonight. The offense has shown up. The special teams, all 3 phases of the game in this one. And Coach Burns talked about it in the coaches show that kind of lit a little fire under them after last week, and it's showing. Beard pistol formation. Takes the snap, drops back to pass. He's flush, tries to step through his seam. He will break 1 tackle, but not the second one, as he's going to be brought down by Colton Kane right at the original line of scrimmage before the loss. So gain of 1, and will bring up 4th and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Pulaski sends the punt receiving team onto the field. Twin backs.
Yeah, they've had that all night, or so far, not allowing the Eagles to get that extra is Brock and Cohen Finley.
A little late getting a couple of players on from Mad South.
Broderick, we said Cohen. Broderick was the one that's been creating havoc back in the backfield.
He's had 2 tackles for loss that I can count.
Blair will get a high kick that will be fielded by Finley at about the 49-yard line. So a 29-yard punt with no return. And the Maroons, Mike,
say it with me,
start off in Eagles territory. Again, their starting field position, and I need to go back. That's Aflac trivia question for this week.
You better go back and look.
The Pulaski Maroons' average starting field position this year has got to be about the 40-yard line.
Has been very good.
38, 40-yard line is my guess.
Okay.
And that can't be far off because they're already at the 49 of the Eagles now. And Anderson, shotgun formation, looks for the double move pump fake. He's looking down the left sideline for Wright and just overthrows him a little bit. Incomplete. Bring up 2nd and 10. So that's the second time tonight we've seen the Maroons and Anderson try to go with the pump fake double move. It's been unsuccessful both times.
Well, that's because you got no help over the top. If you can get him to bite on the first move, there's nobody there.
Yep. And, you have to give the Eagles cornerbacks a little bit of credit because they have been able to at least thwart that. And Anderson under center fakes. Now he rolls back to his right, gets Denmeyer, who has just found his way snuck behind the defense, and it's going to be down to about the 22-yard line.
27 or 8.
Gain of 27 on 2nd and 10, and so threatening the Rick Barker red zone again. And Mike, we talked a little bit before the game off the air and thought that this would be a little bit better game, but you've mentioned it several times. Pulaski has been a running clock on almost every one of their opponents.
5 of their
6
opponents. Wins, yeah.
And they are a score away from doing that right now. And Brock takes a handoff around the right side, and there's nobody out there, Mike. Nobody. He walks in from 22 yards untouched with 9:10 remaining here before halftime, and we're going to have a running clock for the remainder of this game, pending the extra point, of course.
So, officially, how many on the carry?
22.
Thank you.
9-10. So 5 offensive possessions, 5 touchdowns, and out of the 5, Brock had one run that was a little bit, he had a bang around a little bit, but other 4 have been untouched. And so after the Citizens National Bank touchdown on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard, 9:10 remaining for halftime, and we're going to have a short night.
Well, I don't know about
35
you.
Nothing.
I expected Pulaski to play well. I did not expect this. Name to know when you, your friends and family are buying or selling real estate is Ron Shaw with Weicker Realtors Ford Brothers. Ron has a long-standing history of community service and is a proud supporter of youth sports in the Lake Cumberland area. Ron truly cares for others and works hard for all of his clients, no matter the size or value of the property they're selling. You can contact Ron at 606-271-0774 or email him at ronshaw45@gmail.com. That's Ron Shaw at Weicker Realtors Ford Brothers. Partner, I don't know about you, but I thought Pulaski would play well, just based on Coach Burns' attitude and the way he took last week's win that a lot of people would have celebrated overly and said that's not good enough. He got the attention of his football team, and Madison Southern has just been shell-shocked. I mean, that's a terrible term to use in a football game, but they're down 5 scores.
Well, after this play, either Wine puts his foot to it, he's going to drive the receiver, which is Blair, back inside his 5. We'll take it back up the middle to about the 27-yard line, so a return of 25. But if you're going to have teams and fans from around the state that are going to look at scoreboards and they're going to see the score, whatever it may be, but there's not going to be as many people that see the dominance that the Maroons. This is a team that nobody in 5A right now wants to play.
Well, there are others they would rather play. I'm going to put it that way because this team believes in what they're doing right now, and they're executing at a very high level.
So Beard will bring the offense out, looking to try to get something positive going.
Run the ball.
He's got Kelly in the pistol formation behind him, hands to him, and Kelly trying to jump, cuts back to the right side, but he's going to be hit almost immediately by Ping in the backfield, and Kelly will pick up 2 on first down. So a positive yards play on first down for the Eagles. 2nd and 8 from their 29. Clock winds under 8 minutes here in the opening half. If you were planning on coming late to the game, you are going to miss the majority of it because we are quick moving. Kelly takes a handoff off the left side, and he gets drugged down there after another very short gain. They'll give him 2 across the 30 up to about the 31-yard line. Brings up 3rd and 6. Blevins there for the tackle.
See McCune back on the – he had missed a game or so on injury. He's back in there at the left defensive end, so glad to see him back on the playing field.
Yeah, in a defensive end, outside linebacker type position.
They play a lot of 4-down linemen in some of these sets.
So Beard, pistol formation. And we got a flag before the
false
play
start
that comes flying in. The Beard was looking to throw it there, but it looks like they're going to do it from at least 5 yards back. I'm not sure what. Still haven't had a preliminary signal. And legal substitution.
Okay, my bad.
Is the call on the Eagles. I'm not sure if they had 12 in the huddle, 12 on the field, but they can't do that.
It came too early, but I thought somebody must have broke stance in the middle of the line, but it turned out just to be too many out here.
Legal participation by somebody. So Beard will bring him back to the line of scrimmage. Pistol formation still again. Kelly behind him, 2 receivers to the left side. Tight end to the right, drops straight back to pass. Now he's flushed out of there by Finley and others as McEwen giving chase now and tries to throw it. Intended to Maynard, falls incomplete, but a flag comes in late, maybe a roughing the passer penalty or
very
a hold.
possibly.
One of the two.
Yep, it's one of the other.
Because it was right there, and it's going to be a personal foul roughing the passer.
Yep.
And so the Eagles will get their is that their first down? Second first down. This way by way of penalty, because that should be of the 15-yard personal foul variety, and it is a first down. And looks like that Beard is shaken up. He's off the field, helmet off. No, that's not Beard. Sorry. That's Maynard who was shaken up. So the Eagles will get the ball up to the 41-yard line, 1st and 10. Clock winds down to about 5.5 minutes here in the opening half. Maroons lead at 35-0. And there's the hard count. And so
offsides.
We're giving away free yards in this game. 15, 5. Just, they're 2-for-1 sale tonight.
There's a coach down there on the sidelines right now who is fuming at a team that's ahead 35-0.
You have played outstanding for 17 minutes, and you give up a couple of freebies right there. Beard will turn around and hand it off to Kelly. Kelly tries to run the left side, and Finley is again. So the Finley brothers.
Finley.
Yeah, Cohen had the interception, and Broderick has and they're going to get Broderick with a horse collar.
Yep, we got a horse collar.
So 3 penalties in a row, Mike. Go ahead and check that down. As the Eagles all night long have had no success on the offensive side of the ball.
This drive's moving right up the field, though.
They started back at their 20, and after a 15-yard roughing the passer, after a offsides, and now a horse collar personal foul, they are in Maroons territory down at the 40-yard line.
And again, from this angle, I couldn't tell. No. Any tackle up around the collar is considered a horse collar.
But still, Broderick has been creating havoc in the offensive backfield. New running back is checked in for the Eagles. And he is met immediately. On the carry was Samaje DeShields, and Bryson Brown greeted him most unkindly as he got the handoff, and Bryson met him and drove him back for a loss of 3 on first down.
Oh, my.
So Samaje Shields is a sophomore running back that giving Braden Kelly a little bit of a break, and he'll stay in the game.
He might remember that hit.
He's shaking his head right now, just trying to figure out. Single coverage. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, sets up a little jet screen, and it is completed to their leading receiver, R.J. Blair, and he's going to take it all the way down to the 23-yard line. It will be a gain of 20 on second down, and another first down for the Eagles. 3 minutes before halftime. Eagles trying to get on the scoreboard here.
Well-designed play there, a little tunnel screen, whatever you want to call it. And Blair showed pretty good quicks once he got the football.
Yeah, found a little seam in the middle, brought it all the way across the field. Kelly is checked back into the game. Beard drops back to pass. He's looking down the left end zone. Finley back here in coverage. He may have his second interception of the night, Mike, and he does. Flag comes in. It's going to be a touchback. That's got to be offensive pass interference.
Well, Finley just picked up number 2, I think.
Oh, no, that was a turnover beanbag. That wasn't a flag.
The turnover beanbag.
The turnover beanbag. So Cohen Finley with his second interception of the night. So, again, I don't know what the Finley brothers had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner today, but whatever it was, goodness gracious, those young men are playing outstanding tonight.
Well, Madison Southern, at least with all the penalties that aided it, put a drive together and flopped the field position.
So Anderson comes out shotgun formation, back to pass. He's looking down the field. Godby is behind the defender and almost brings it in. It was going to be a tough catch. Boone got his hands on it. Defender was draped all over him, and it falls incomplete. A very well-thrown ball
Yeah.
Just really good coverage, and the man in the coverage was the running back that just came in a few plays ago for the Eagles, Samaje DeShields, and give him some credit with good coverage there. Clock does not stop. We're already down to 1 minute here remaining before halftime. Anderson, pistol formation, fakes to Brock. Now he's under some pressure, rolls around to the left, still looking. Now he throws it up. He's got Idlewind behind the defense, and he's going to haul it in, and Ethan is going to take it 80 yards. Anderson hit him at about the 45-yard line. He was behind the defense, and Ethan will have his second touchdown of the ball game. And so, Mike, I can safely call it the route is on.
Yeah, it is. And again, Idlewind has a rushing touchdown of 49 yards on his only carry. He has a completion of 80 yards for a touchdown on his only reception. Efficiency. Yeah, it is. This is not what I expected.
So Mounts on to attempt the PAT. Another high snap, Mike. That's something that they've plagued them all year long, but Mounts is able to get it up and through. And so with 45 seconds remaining after the Citizens National Bank touchdown, Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard 42-0. Maroons lead the Eagles.
Tired of battling weeds and overgrown grass? Promo Lawn Service is here to tackle your yard so you can relax and enjoy it. We offer expert mowing, trimming, edging, hedge trimming, and even specialized yard treatments to keep your yard looking its absolute best. Promo Lawn Service, your lawn's MVP. Call today for a free quote and experience the difference. And don't forget Sassy Spoon Catering. Make your next event unforgettable with Sassy Spoon Catering. They specialize in crafting fresh, great-tasting food that will delight your guests. From elegant wedding receptions to dynamic corporate events, intimate parties to casual picnics and productive business lunches. Sassy Spoon Catering has a perfect menu to elevate your occasion. Let us handle the food so you can focus on the fun. Call Sassy Spoon Catering today and taste the difference.
So Idlewind on for that's Mounts with doing the kicking duties here on this one after the Entrust Healthcare kickoff. And it's a one hopper that's fielded back at about the 10-yard line by Blair, and he's going to have about a 20-yard return, gets back to about the 30, and brought down on the play by Braxton Haggard with the tackle.
Blair's approaching 100 yards of return on kickoffs. That's not no, and when it takes you 5 to get there,
well, that 7, right? 7
yeah, but he's only fielded 5
you're
of
right.
them.
Sorry,
we had one.
You. Sorry.
We had a shank that we tried to decide whether it was a shank.
The clock is going to continue to run, and the Eagles and Coach Payne are readily happy to let this clock run out here in the first half. As it has been all Maroons here in the opening half, second round of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association state playoffs. 42-0. We're going to step away for just a minute, and when I come back, we'll give you a scoring rundown. Mike will give you some individual and team stats, and then we will bring you the third quarter here from Pulaski High School. 42-0. Be back after this.
Not everybody qualifies for a traditional mortgage. That's why the secondary market exists. It's there for down payment assistance, low down, no down payments, closing cost assistance, grant programs. Typically, there's no local point of contact for a secondary market loan. We're changing that whole process. That way, there's someone here to guide you through from application to clear to close and everything in between.
Best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag. Back and better than ever. Just $5.99. Mix and match any 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Any 2 plus fries and a drink, all just $5.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck.
It's a great time to get your new F-150 at Alton Blakely Ford. The Ford F-150 redefines working remotely. There's a desk inside the cab, a tailgate work surface out back, and available Pro Power onboard to plug in what you need. Tough This Smart can only be called F-150. And right now, get a no-charge leather package upgrade on every purchase of an F-150 XLT at Alton Blakely Ford.
And welcome back to the Toyota of Somerset High School football playoff action here from Pulaski County High School, as it has been all Maroons in the opening half of this one. They have put up 42 points and, quite frankly, have made it look easy. They opened up the scoring at 7:56 mark of the first quarter. Anderson found Denmeyer from 42 yards out behind the defense, and after the Mounts PAT was good, the score would be quickly 7-0. 4:41 of the first quarter, Kason Brock would take it in for his first touchdown of the game from 4 yards out. Bryson's PAT would be good for 14-0 PC lead. Just under 2 minutes after that score, 2:45 in the first quarter, Idlewild would take it from 49 yards out, right up the middle, untouched, and race into the end zone. And after the Mounts PAT was good, it would be 21-0 Maroons. Just before the end of the first quarter, with zeros on the clock, Anderson would find Godby on a 26-yard touchdown pass, Boone's first touchdown of the evening, and the lead would balloon to 28-0 after the Mounts PAT. 9 minutes and 10 seconds into the second quarter, or left in the second quarter, Kason Brock would take his second touchdown in the end zone. This time another 26-yard run. Mounts PAT would be good, and the Maroons would start the running clock, leading 35-0 at that point. Just before halftime, Zach Anderson would throw his third touchdown of the game. This time he would find Idlewild behind the defense once again, and he would take it 80 yards into the end zone. After the Mounts PAT is good, at halftime, the Maroons lead this one 42-0. And a pretty special moment. I wasn't a part of it. You were. Your partner, who's here with us in the booth tonight, Paul Wright, is here. They're honoring the 2014 state championship team, and great to see those young men brought back and being honored here.
It is, and a lot of fond memories are out there on the field. We saw this team during a stretch of 4 years, mostly this team, but some others before and some after, go to 4 state championships in a row in 5A football.
Almost unheard of.
Runner-up 3 years and won one. And, again, it's about as good a stretch as you're going to find, and it came out of a program. I think Coach Burns even touched on it in our pregame. It came out of a program that had not been expected of, and they are trying to return to that level, and tonight's play has been pretty good. But congratulations to all of them. Some of them look like they can still play.
Yeah.
10 years has been hard on a few of them, but I was just kidding. Several of the coaches who are in the Pulaski staff are out there. They were players on that football team, and some of the coaches that were on that football team are still out there. And so Paul Wright has joined us. And I remember the look of when he and I were with Dwayne, were in the booth, and you had that really happened look, you know, and the celebration that followed and the credit that's been given to these young men. 10 years is a long time, but they've got memories that'll last a lifetime. Having said that, I'm going to give you some stats. Madison Southern had four first downs in the first half. But 2 of those came by penalty. 14 rushes for 21 net yards, 8 pass attempts, of which they completed 3. 3 out of 8. So they get off 22 offensive snaps for 39 net yards. They punted it 4 times, penalized twice for 10 yards, no fumbles, 2 interceptions. One of those went to the house. No, it didn't. It went almost to the house, excuse me. Turnovers 2. For Pulaski, only 6 first downs in the opening half.
Only?
Only. They rushed 9 times for 106 yards. threw the ball 9 times for 6 of 9 for 202. That's 18 offensive snaps for 308 yards. They did not punt. They were penalized 4 times for 50 yards. No turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions. Madison Southern on offense, their leading rusher, 11 carries for Kelly. He's got 17 yards. And Blair has 1 catch for 20. And that literally, if you take the return yards off the skate, that is the wrap for them.
Yeah, that's, domination.
That is some domination. And if you look at Pulaski County, Brock carried the ball 8 times for 57 yards. Idlewild had 1 carry for 49 and a touchdown. That's it. Denmeyer, 3 catches for 117 yards. Brock had a catch called back, a touchdown catch. Idlewild had 1 catch for 80 and a touchdown, and Godby had 1 catch for 25 or 26 and a touchdown. Zach Anderson through the air again, 202, no picks. Very efficient opening half by Pulaski and everything that we've talked about. And, Chris, if you look at this, Madison Southern's not a bad football team, but they just got dump trucked in this opening half. They took the initial drive and couldn't get anything done, and Pulaski was downhill from that time until the final whistle blew at the end of the half, and it's 42-0. And I don't know what to say other than we'll see a second half that'll go in a hurry.
And, just looking at the numbers, I had to get your paper because I thought that I'd missed something. But you have allowed a decent, they're not a bad team, 39 total yards of offense in the opening half. And you have produced 308 yards in a half, scored every time you've had the ball. And I've tried to paint the picture to you, but I don't know that I can paint it. It's like they're almost running against air, and they've had opportunities, and they've had big plays, and they've had touchdowns where they went untouched. And this is just, I didn't expect this in the second round of the state playoffs.
I didn't either, and I'm just checking this out. Riley Hall's got his baby in his arms.
Yep.
And he's bouncing across the field at the 20. I think he'll go in. He may score, but again, if you can think back, I remember everybody when he started playing as a freshman, they said he was too small. He couldn't play quarterback at the 5A level. Well, he kind of proved them wrong, and there's some really good guys on that football team. Several of them went on to play at the next level, which prior to that, Pulaski had not had very many kids play at the next level. And a lot of guys that I'm still associated with and friends with down there huddled in that end zone. And I can say congratulations, guys.
So give you a couple of updates. The other 2 local teams are not having it as easy as they're seeing here tonight. Southwestern, who was scoreless at the end of the first quarter against North Laurel, leads that one 10-0 at the half. And Somerset playing Brackett County tonight, hosting Brackett County, up 14-7 at halftime of that game. So both of those games yet to be decided. Unlike this one, as Mike alluded to, we're going to have a very rapidly moving second half. 42-0 here. We're about 8 minutes away from second half action. And both teams are still in the locker room at this point, but got some.
I need to because the second half's going to go
be
by.
Quick. So we're going to do pay some bills.
We will select a CAN help counseling lineman of the game as a trusted SCL and Michelle P. waiver provider. CAN help case management helps individuals with intellectual or development disabilities live independently in their communities. They strive to help clients increase independence, improve quality of life, and reduce caregiver burden. CAN, help case management, is vital in helping those individuals thrive within your communities. If you or someone you know can benefit from SCL services, please give CAN a call today. You had some updates. We got a score at Scott
Cooper is up 24-7 over Scott. So if that holds way it plays, and I'm going to try to get a Highlands score.
Okay.
If that's the case, then this team will be on the road next week, and we'll go to Fort Thomas Highlands. But not yet.
Our video game of the week this week is the Briar Jumpers of Somerset entertaining the Polar Bears of Bracken County tonight, and we gave you a score. I think that was Somerset up 14-7.
Yes, sir.
Buffalo Wings and Rings. Be sure to watch the video game of the week and Lake Cumberland Sports. Our next broadcast is probably basketball season, but we're going to hold off on that. Wings and Rings, created your way. Always fresh, never frozen burgers. Also want to thank C.V. Hansford of Weichert Realtors Ford Brothers, a person you can trust when you're looking to sell your farm or commercial property. CV's experience as a successful realtor, business person, and farmer is available when it comes to knowing how to get the most for your property, all the while helping you through a seamless and enjoyable transaction. For more information, give CV a call at 606-219-3274. That's CV Hansford at Weichert Realtors Ford Brothers. Also want to remind everybody that Entrust Healthcare, stressed, anxious, depressed, at Entrust Healthcare Counseling, you can get services started today. Entrust offers you flexibility of providing you with counseling services in their office, on the phone, or through your computer. Give them a call at 606-676-0638 or visit their website at entrust-healthcare.com. And Entrust, your mental health matters. And don't forget, our official photography sponsor here in Lake Cumberland Sports of High School Sports is the Don Franklin Somerset family of dealerships. They will treat you like family, and a big old thank you for doing that. At Don Franklin, they work daily to provide their customers with the best possible experience. You can visit any of their 5 Somerset locations or go on Facebook at Don Franklin Somerset family of dealerships, where they treat you like family. We're at halftime, 42-0. Pulaski leads over Madison Southern, and we will have a running clock in the second half, so Chris and I will probably have very little time to do very much commercial. So we'll remind Henderson Chiropractic, committed to relieving your pain using the true principles of chiropractic care. The caring, helpful team strives for excellence through extraordinary service and patient education. Dr. Henderson provides chiropractic care for injuries that occur during sports, auto accidents, work-related activities, or just everyday wear and tear. The experience you need, the results you want. That's Henderson Chiropractic. Partner, you got something you need to play?
Yeah, I was going to give one here right before we get back halftime. When we get out of this, we'll bring you second half action after this.
Here at Citizens National Bank, we still take pride in treating each and every customer like we would want to be treated. Our employees are here to help you navigate the confusing lending process and determine which type of home loan best suits you. Schedule an appointment today. We have highly qualified loan officers ready to serve you.
Out here in the real world, we spend too much time waiting around and wondering if we'll ever get to be what we really want to be. Now it's time to move forward, and with a little help from Somerset Community College, you can finish that degree or start a whole new life as an IT VIP, a healthcare hero, and more in less time and for less money than you think. The time is now. The place is here. Never underestimate you.
Best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag. Back and better than ever. Just $5.99. Mix and match any 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Any 2 plus fries and a drink, all just $5.99. Hardee's Original Bag. Loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck.
And welcome back to Toyota of Somerset High School playoff action between the Maroons and the Madison Southern Eagles. Both teams have made it out of the locker room and having the additional 3-minute warm-up period. We're about 2 minutes away from the start of the second half. And as Mike said, 42-0. It's been all Maroons in this one. And they're going to cakewalk into the third round of the playoffs. and will be taking on either Cooper or Fort Thomas Highland. It won't be Cooper, Fort Thomas Highlands or Scott County. It does not appear that it will be Scott. 24-7 in that game. We're trying to get a Highland score.
I'm rolling. I just haven't found it yet.
But if you're sitting at home listening to this, just something. I'm not a big social media guy, but I've seen it, I've heard it, I've come across it. There's going to be a boxing match tonight, Mike, in the AT&T Stadium in Texas between a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, who was considered at one time one of the greatest, most dangerous heavyweight fighters of all time, got beat in a absolute shocker, and I just had the name. Buster Douglas knocked him out over there, which is one of the biggest upsets of all times. And then he kind of middled around. He ended up going to prison for a little while, came back out, didn't do so well. But Jake Paul has drug him out of retirement. Jake Paul has had some success against some MMA fighters and some other celebrities and different things. But this is going to be the first time that he's fought a real boxer. Now, again, he's 30 years the senior of Jake Paul. But if that's your thing and you're kind of interested in that, then about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock tonight, that was going to kick off.
I'll probably miss that watching reruns of Soap or something. I don't know, but I hope Tyson knocks him out. 14-10 is the best I can do right now with Highlands leading Woodford County, but that is by no means the latest score. I'm still chasing. These guys who post on here don't realize that I'm trying to do a ball game.
But
14-10 is the last I had Highlands over Woodford County, but that was the first half score.
Well, so we're going to have as teams are trying to figure out what side they're going to line up on. And much like last week and what we've seen in a running clock fashion, Coach Burns will keep the starting unit in the game and on the field for at least a possession. I mean, you do have another game next week, and so it's nice to have a little bit of extra time and, get the starters out, keep them fresh and not injuries. But you also don't want them to only play, a half of football either. So I expect to see the starting offense out there for at least a possession, and then he'll call off the dogs.
Regular return team is out there.
Yeah, Finley will stand back at his 5-yard line. And for the first time tonight, we will see the kicker for the Eagles.
And a nice kicker.
R.J. Blair, and they try to do a little onside kick, and it's going to be fielded by Denmeyer at the 28.
I think it went out of bounds.
Well,
we had a whistle.
I don't think we had a ready for play.
I think you're right. Everybody's got that what happened look right now.
Because Denmeyer fielded the ball clean.
Yeah, and he's standing there looking at everybody, so the whistles had to be blowing. We couldn't hear them up here.
Yeah.
White Hat had not given them the official "you should kick the football now" signal. Yeah, it's an inauspicious start to the second half, would you say?
It is. So, I mean, Madison Southern, attempts.
Then they lose the surprise element of the onside kick?
Well, not really. It wasn't a true onside kick. I think he was just trying to keep it away from the return team.
Okay.
So we will have our second Intrust Healthcare kickoff of the second half because the first one didn't count. And this time he's going to kick it the other way, and it was a weird type play. It was popped up in the air, and there is Broderick Finley. He'll fair catch it at about the 39-yard line. And so, again, starting field position, Mike, the 39-yard line is where the Maroons will start the second half at.
Wow, that was an interesting play. You described it well, but if you're Pulaski, I want to make a comment. Taylor has been out there at center tonight and steps in as a freshman, and actually he's not over the ball right now. He's at left tackle, I think. Well, we'll figure it out in a minute. I may have my numbers messed up for a minute.
All right, so, and we'll not have Anderson at quarterback. It looks like we are not going to have the starting unit as Will Adams will open up the second half. And a nice run there on the play by Caden Carrier, and he's going to pick up close to 7 on first down. 2nd and 3.
So that's one of the reasons I bet I saw Taylor playing tackle.
Yeah.
They've shuffled the offensive line, and I see several of them down there in front of me now.
Yeah, so we do have the second team unit in here to start the second half as Adams turns around and hands it off to Carrier again. And Caden is going to pick up close to 6 on second down, and that will be first down for the Maroons. As at center is Levi Bashir. In the game at tackle is Blake Taylor, as Mike mentioned. You have Braden Green is in the game. Braxton Haggard is in the game. Try to get you some more.
Yeah, is out there.
In there. Bryson Mounts is in at a slot receiver.
He is.
And Adams from the shotgun formation, and he's got Carrier.
He's also being instructed to let the clock run.
Right. Yeah, not trying to do too much. Brian Ford Jonesy back there, and Brian will get the handoff, trying to sweep around the right side, and he's going to be brought down on the play by Kelly for a loss of 6.
Who was that on the carry?
That was Brian Ford.
Thought so.
42.
Yep. Winston Ford is back, by the way, this week. But he lost about 6, didn't he?
Yeah, so they will flip the formation as Finley and Mounts come wide to the left. Adams will hand it off to Carrier off the left side. He is hitting the backfield, but makes a nice move. Will get back to the 50-yard line, just across the 50 into Eagle territory at the 9-yard line. Give him a gain of 3.
If you just joined us after halftime, it is 42-0 Pulaski County with a running clock here early in the third on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard. And Pulaski is with the second unit out there. They're just trying to see the clock melt.
Yeah, Jet McEwen in at a slot back.
Yep.
Brian Ford goes in motion from left to right, and hands off to Carrier off the left side, and he drags the ball carrier for about 3 yards. Will bring up 4th and 10, and the punt team will stay on the sideline.
Pulaski's going to take a timeout, maybe?
No.
I just saw the offensive coordinator walk out, but he just was out saying something to Adams.
Yep. So.
And Adams is not lined up at quarterback.
Nope, he is. So you're going to have your quick kick here. So Brian Ford checks in. Quick kick, and he will get it off, and it is a short end-over-end kick that hits at about the 35, but gets a favorable roll, and will roll inside the 30 down to about the 28-yard line. So a kick of 19 with no return, and that's where the Eagles will take over.
Coach Rose, how are you, man? Golly, it's been forever.
First down for the Maroons. For the Eagles, as they will come out to their first possession here of the second half. And so 6:53 here on the clock in the second half. And the Eagles will open up. They have a new quarterback in there in the game as well. And there is a long pass that is thrown
72
to Caden Winkler, and it is the same quarterback. I thought they had a different, but Gabe Beard will find Winkler.
72 yards.
And so just like that, the Eagles on the board.
You, man. Take care.
6:33 of the third quarter. And
boy, the stats now go crazy because your quarterback, that was Beard at quarterback,
it was,
wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, he's now thrown for 90 yards and a touchdown.
Gabe, 40. Blair is on to attempt the extra point. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up and through. And so at the 6:33 mark, the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard, the Maroons give up a score. Lead it 42-7.
CV Hansford of Riker Wilder Ford Brothers, person you can trust when you're looking to sell your farm or commercial property. CV's experience as a successful realtor, business person, and farmer is invaluable when it comes to knowing how to get the most for your property, all the while helping you through a seamless and enjoyable transaction. For more information, give CV a call at 606-219-3274. That's CV Hansford at Weichert Brothers. Weichert Realtors Ford Brothers, 0 for 3 on that tonight, Mike. A big thank you to the Don Franklin Somerset family of dealerships for being the official photography sponsor of Lake Cumberland Sports. At Don Franklin, they work daily to provide their customers with the best possible experience. You can visit any one of their 5 Somerset locations on Facebook at Don Franklin Somerset family of dealerships. But they'll treat you like family. Partner?
So R.J. Blair on to kick off for the Eagles. They had an odd one last time, and this one's another onside kick that bounces off the front man there. I believe that's Brian Ford. Yeah, it bounces off him, but it will be recovered on the play by Toby Wright, and so the Maroons will take over at the 49-yard line for the second time.
I think Broderick Finley got blown up on the end of that. He's still pulling some stuff out of his helmet.
Well, he's been blowing up enough people.
Well, they owed him one. Well, Pulaski has, what would we say, pretty good field position.
Opens at the 49 of the Eagles. Adams will give it to Carrier off the right side, and Caden is met right there. Will get no gain, maybe a loss. We'll give him no gain on the play. 2nd and 10, 5:25 mark here in the third quarter. Adams gets the call from the sideline, jogs in. We'll send 2 receivers to the far side, 2 here to the near side. Caden Carrier off his right shoulder, shotgun, hands off to Caden right up the middle, and Caden will pick up about 4 on second down to the 45-yard line, bringing up 3rd and 6.
For Pulaski, you've got 26 on the play clock. What you'd like to do is get in a rhythm to where you're not even thinking about breaking huddle, but that's not their style, and they'll go onto the line of scrimmage with 10, 12 seconds on the play clock.
Yeah, you want to use the clock to your favor and get out of here with, no injuries. Adams back to pass. He's looking down the left side. Got a man down there. Pass intended for Braxton Haggard and just goes through his hands and falls incomplete at about the 15-yard line. And we'll bring up 4th and 6.
I think that's the first time I remember us mentioning Mr. Haggard this year on an attempt.
He was behind the defender.
He was.
It was the pass he had to
the
adjust.
defender's just now coming back.
Yeah, he had to adjust. It was thrown a little bit over his left shoulder, so he kind of had to make an awkward, twisty, turny type catch and just couldn't bring it in. But he will come split out here to the near side. Single coverage out here. 2 receivers to the far side. Adams, quarterback draw. He's just going to take it himself. Design run. He's not going to get enough for the first down, so it will result in a turnover on downs. 3:23 here remaining in the third quarter. And the Maroons will go back on defense, and we weren't able to get you because of the quick strike last time, but you've got Caden Carrier in there at a safety. You have Rike Meese at corner. Hayden Johnson there at a linebacker. Brian Ford at another linebacker. I'll give you some other ones as I get to it. As screen pass set up for Braden Hall, and he gets around the outside and got some space, and he's going to take it all the way across midfield down to about the 40-yard line, Mike, so a gain of 17 on first down. And Winston Ford in there on the tackle as he is in the game. Boone Godby in at a cornerback. You have Blake Taylor in at nose guard. Jet McEwen at a defensive end.
Sideline, they're discussing something with the sidelines. They've sent a player off.
The old dreaded knee, no, it's not a knee pad. Something going on with the
helmet?
Yeah, something. But we'll get back to action here. Clock winds under 2 minutes. Beard takes the snap, turns around and hands it to RJ. Or sorry, that's Blair.
Yeah.
In at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So Blair will take it right up the middle, and he's going to pick up about 13 on the carry, and that's another first down. Sets the Eagles up 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
It went from the Eagle formation, whatever you would want to call it. We'll go with Eagle. They've left him in there. I think they're going to go with this package for a second.
Well, so, I mean, Beard was in the huddle. And He's out here wide
He's
to
wide
the right
receiver
side.
on this side.
And Blair will take the snap, and he's going to keep it himself right back up the middle. Makes a man miss in the backfield, but will be brought down on the play. I believe that was McEwen. And will give up a gain of 2 on first down. 2nd and 8. Clock hits 1 minute, Mike, here in the third quarter. 42-7, Pulaski County Maroons, and it was a onslaught in the first half.
Yeah, if you just look at scores, this one's going to lie to you.
Blair will stay in to get the snap. No, he's going to turn around. That's Beard back in the quarterback, and Beard's going to turn around and hand it off to either Kelly or, Braden Kelly gets the carry, and he's going to pick up 8 on second down.
Second longest carry of the game for their leading rusher, over 1,100 on the season, but he's found it tough tonight.
He really has.
12 carries for 25 net yards.
Ball sits just outside the Rick Barker red zone at the 21, 3rd and 2. Kelly behind Beard in the pistol formation, tries to get the defense to jump on a hard snap, and there was 3-4 of them that twitched, but did not get into the neutral zone, and that's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter here on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard. Maroons lead this one big, 42-7, and we'll be back right after this to bring you the fourth quarter.
At Toyota of Somerset, we're known for great service before and after the sale, and so much more. Since 1988, Toyota of Somerset has been supporting our local communities. And we sell and service what a number of different rating services call the most fuel-efficient, dependable, and safe vehicles on the road. Toyota. Toyota of Somerset, South Highway 27 Somerset, and online at toyotaofsomerset.com. At Toyota of Somerset, we're all about you.
Here to come in 175-100, here to come in 175-2. I'm 200 down, count it here to come in a quarter.
Like successful sports programs, putting together a successful auction takes a lot of planning, organization, attention to detail, and teamwork. And you need dedicated and committed people pulling together. At Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we've been successfully selling the country since 1965. Ford Brothers Auctioneers. Give us a call or visit us online at FordBrothersInc.com.
Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we're selling the country.
And welcome back to Pulaski County High School here. Fourth quarter getting ready to get underway as the Eagles will start 3rd and 2 from the 21-yard line. Maroons showing pressure, will bring pressure. Hands off to the big up man, Dalton Maynard, and he is going to be hog-tied on the carry for no gain. Blake Taylor
and
in
McEwen.
there for and McEwen on the tackle. Loss of 1 on the carry, and we'll bring up 4th. And, well, they're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage. So still 4th and 2. Going to have to get across the 20 down to just inside the 19 as Beard, this time from the shotgun formation. Kelly off his right side, fakes it to him. Little quarterback hot route to the tight end. Pass intended for Dalton Maynard, and he and Beard were not on the same page as he was open.
Oh, he was lonesome.
And ball goes behind him, and it will be a turnover on downs, and the Maroons will take over.
He lined up at tight end, nobody over him. And when he came off clean, nobody behind him. It's a short yardage situation, and Beard just misfired.
Tight end hot route,
yes.
Tight end dump. Adams comes out at quarterback, and he's going to turn around, hand to Carrier off the left side, and Carrier finds some room before he gets drugged down at about the 25-yard line. 26, give him a gain of 5 on first down.
5-yard gain, second down and 5.
So as you alluded to, play clock and game clock, just continues to roll. You don't want to snap it too early. You want to use as much. Would love the game to be over after this drive if you could do it. And Adams waiting for the clock to get under 10. And we'll hand it off to Caden off the right side. And he's going to find a little more tough sledding on this carry. He'll pick up about 1 on the play. We'll bring up 3rd and 4. 9:40 on the clock. 42-7 ball game. Maroons up big. Led 42-0 at halftime. Adams going to send 3 receivers split out to the far side, his left. 1 receiver here to the near side. Now Adams looks to the sideline, maybe changing the play up. Eagles showing pressure. Hands it off to Carrier off the left side. He finds some running room, is going to get across the 35 up to about the 37, give him a gain of 10 on 3rd down, and that will be a first down for the Maroons, and will keep the drive alive.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I think Adams called that at the line of scrimmage. He saw something, and they used to call that an audible. Now they just call it you change the play. But he, whatever he did, it was a great call because Carringer had some room.
He saw something.
Yep.
And so Carrier will stay in the backfield, join Brian Ford. Adams back there, hand off to Ford right up the middle. He makes a man miss in the backfield. Will fight forward for a gain of 3. Ball across the 40 up to the 41-yard line.
Brian Ford on the carry for the Maroons.
We'll bring up 2nd and 7 as Taylor checks out of the game. The young man has had double duty, center and defense. Andrew Cash is in the game at a offensive lineman. Trenton Newberry is in there.
If you have a helmet, you're probably in the game right now.
You're probably going to get in. Braxton Haggard comes split out wide to the right side. Mounts and McEwen split wide to the left.
Delay of game.
And we will get a delay of game. And that's not a bad penalty.
No, because the clock keeps running.
That's right.
You can still a minute right here if you're, the officials are not.
They're not in a big hurry.
But they're keeping the play flowing.
See, I would have waited to even break the huddle on this play.
Absolutely.
Adams takes a snap, drops back to pass. Now he's flushed out to the left. He's looking, throws it way up in the air, and there was a lot of hand fighting, pushing, and I believe Braxton Haggard got away with an offensive pass interference.
We saw that at the end of the game last week. Remember, down here to our left, one of those, I called it a punt pass.
That resembled a punt. I mean, Adams was rolling to his left, had Haggard behind the secondary.
The ball may have slipped out of his hands.
Threw it as high in the air as he threw it far, and Haggard had to turn into defensive back and did a pretty good job, but got away with a hand in the back.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And may have another delay of game call here as the play clock's already down
Bingo.
to 1. They let it snap. Adams, they're going to call it, I think.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. No flag, but no, they're going to get a false start. They said they weren't set. That's what happens when you don't get to the line of scrimmage until under 5 seconds. But, as you alluded to, clock continues to wind. We are now under 6 minutes in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 15. Hand off to Carrier around the left side, and he's got space. He's across the 50, down the 30, through the Rick Barker red zone, and into the end zone. That is going to be 68 yards. Caden Carrier on the carry, and he just took the handoff and went around the left side to finally find a little bit of running room, and Caden will get into the scoring book.
And I might add, nobody closed on him.
No, he ran away from the defenders with
nice
the 5:45 mark of the fourth quarter. The Maroons strike again.
The coaching staff's throwing him around like a rag doll over here.
So, there's a lot of things to like about this Maroon team. They have some young pieces, and the Mounts.
That was
PAT,
not Mounts, was it?
Yeah, Mounts. Yeah, the first team.
It was Mounts.
PAT unit was still in the game.
That was Denmeyer that was coming off with his head down. I couldn't tell who it was.
He was in there on the hold.
Yep. All right, while they get them back out there, we're going to try to say some thank yous. Henderson Chiropractic, committed to relieving your pain using the true principles of chiropractic care. Their careful, helpful team strives for excellence through extraordinary service and patient education. Dr. Henderson provides chiropractic care for injuries that occur during sports, auto accidents, work-related activities, or just everyday wear and tear. The experience you need, the results you want. That's Henderson Chiropractic. And don't forget Rick Godby Realty. They sponsor our Red Zone. And don't forget the Rex Restaurant in Nancy, Kentucky, the finest farm-to-table made from scratch food from right here in Pulaski County. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 8. The Rex, where you can feed your good, will feed you good, treat you right.
Mounts kick off, taken there at the 10-yard line by R.J. Blair, and he right back up the middle will get across the 30 up to about the 34-yard line, return of 24, and that's where the Eagles will take over, probably real close to the last possession of this ball game, unless they score quickly. But stay tuned. After this one, we will have our Alton Blakely post-game show, and we will give you our Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game, United Cumberland Bank Defensive Player of the Game, our CAN Help Case Management Lineman of the Game, and hope to get an interview with Coach Burns, and it will be on Facebook Live.
Pulaski a little late getting the 11th player on the field.
As Haggard checks in at safety. Back deep to throw and finds a man down there, and that's going to be his top receiver. And I said unless they had a quick strike, and that is Gabe Beard, completes to Braden Hall, and that's going to be 67 yards on the touchdown. So no offense to speak of in the first half, but here in the second half, the Eagles have scored twice. This one comes at the 4:40 mark.
Who was that on the catch?
That was number 10, Braden Hall.
Thank you.
67. Yeah. So, game of big plays, Mike. We've had one touchdown, excuse me, under 26 yards, and it was 4. All the rest of them have been 26 or more as the Blair PAT is up and good. So the final score will not be indicative of the dominance that the Maroons had tonight. Run around D. Turpin CPA scoreboard, 4:40 remaining in this one. Maroons lead it 49-14.
Rick Barker, Godby Realty and Auction, names you know, names you can trust. Real estate and auction services for farm, commercial, residential, and personal. Godby Realty and Auction has 50 years experience in the real estate and auction business, and they're ready to put that to work for you. Go online at godbyrealty.com for more information. Partner, post-game show, we'll try to do some score checking. The problem is we're going to be done before a lot of other games that people are interested in are still ongoing. We'll try to get some scoring updates. But, again, barring an upset of the Highlands or the Woodford County game, and Highlands was ahead in that game, Pulaski will be at one of those two schools next week unless something strange happens in another game.
So the Maroons are not going to be caught by surprise on this onside kick attempt.
10 up.
As you've got 10 within 10 yards, and Blair is just going to pop it up, and Denmeyer's going to go back and field it at about the 34. He's got some blockers around the right side. It cuts back to the middle, and he may take it to the house, Mike.
Can Blair catch him?
It's a foot race, and the flag comes in late, and you're going to get Boone Godby, who's got his hands on his head staring at the referee, and it's going to be nullified. About a 73-yard kickoff return by Denmeyer, and Godby is stopping. He and Idlewind over there, and we're going to get a penalty that wipes this touchdown return out.
Well, they had set that up. I mean, they had a wall built for Denmeyer here and came to the right and cut it back to the middle, and he showed the speed as he ran away from Blair,
who's one of the fastest players on the Eagles. And
unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, so you had some kind of behind the play block, something happened, and, yeah, unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, that's what you got.
And so the White Hat is coming all the way over to the Pulaski sideline to give the explanation to Coach Burns. And Coach Burns doesn't put up much of an argument as he just turns around.
That'll be discussed.
And so, you know, if you're just the average fan that checks scores on Friday night and you go down through and you see 49-14, Pulaski beats Madison Southern, it's going to look like that it was, you know, kind of a ho-hum type game. But
Southwestern up 10-7 at the end of 3.
So North Laurel has got on the scoreboard of that one. Adams back at quarterback, hands it to Caden Carrier off the left side, and Caden will pick up about 3 on first down.
Carrier's over 100 yards rushing on the game now.
That's pretty good for that young man.
Well, he's carried it 11 times for 112 and a touchdown. That's pretty good. Got Cohen's got a couple picks. We got to think about that when we go to the defensive player of the game.
I'm over here writing down now and trying to think of. I'm good with my defensive and my lineman of the game. I need some help on the offense.
I'm gonna give you that one.
Adams tosses it to.
That's Ford.
Brian Ford on the jet sweep. Kind of it's a pass. It was a tossed in front of him, and Brian will pick up about 4 on second down and bring up 3rd and
239 and counting. And I think, according to my last census, we're pretty much caught up on what we need to do from a bill paying standpoint.
Nice.
Thank all of our sponsors for making this possible. We're going to do it one more time next Friday night, to be determined where we'll be.
And Adams brings him out of the huddle, hands off to Carrier off the left side, and he makes a man miss in the backfield, be real close to the line to gain for the first down, depending on where they put the ball down.
You're going to be short, I think. Well,
it is.
I don't know. They may have nosed that up just enough to make it work. No,
yeah.
Fourth down.
It's going to be 4th and inches.
And we'll go under a minute and a half if everything stays kosher here.
So this should be the last play of the game unless something crazy happens. Well, no, we're 138. We'll be under a minute. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Adams under center. Quarterback sneak, and he will fall forward and get the first down. And so that will just about wrap this one up from Pulaski High School as the Maroons will win this one in dominating fashion. And again, if you just check the scores and you hear and see the post-game stats, it's not going to be indicative of how dominating this team was. Again, they allowed 39 yards of total offense in the first half.
We've seen them for 12 weeks. I got a question for you after the snap.
And there's Herschel Walker's favorite play, the
take a knee
victory formation, that Adams will take a knee. And we'll have one more of those, and the game will be over What's your question?
Was the first half of this game the best half we've seen Pulaski play on both sides of the ball?
All three phases of the game,
Okay.
as Adams takes a knee again, and that will bring us to the end of this one on the Randall E. Turpin CPA scoreboard. Maroons win this one 49-14. We're going to step away, take just a little bit of a break, come back, give away some hardware, give away some individual and team stats, and that will wrap it up here for Pulaski High School. 49-14, Randall E. Turpin CPA scoreboard. We'll be back after this.
At Toyota of Somerset, we're known for great service before and after the sale, and so much more. Since 1988, Toyota of Somerset has been supporting our local communities. And we sell and service what a number of different rating services call the most fuel-efficient, dependable, and safe vehicles on the road. Toyota. Toyota of Somerset, South Highway 27 Somerset, and online at toyotaofsomerset.com. At Toyota of Somerset, we're all about
Here to come in 17500, here to come in 175.2. I'm 200 down, count it here to come in a quarter.
Like successful sports programs, putting together a successful auction takes a lot of planning, organization, attention to detail, and teamwork. And you need dedicated and committed people pulling together. At Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we've been successfully selling the country since 1965. Ford Brothers Auctioneers. Give us a call or visit us online at FordBrothersInc.com.
Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we're selling the country.
Let us show you the strength that comes by making every moment count. We're here to help. Hospice of Lake Cumberland. Let us show you the strength that comes by making every moment count. We're here to help. Hospice of Lake
Best
Cumberland.
things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag. Back and better than ever. Just $5.99. Mix and match any two full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Any two plus fries and a drink, all just $5.99. Hardee's Original Bag. Loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck.
And welcome back to Pulaski County High School, Toyota of Somerset High School football. And this is the Alton Blakely post-game show as the Maroons come away victorious in this one by a final score of 49-14. Will improve their record to 8-4 on the season, as the Madison Southern Eagles will drop to 5-7 as their season comes to an end. The Maroons will be on the road next week at a yet-to-be-determined site. We are thinking that it's probably going to be Fort Thomas Highlands, but check the scoreboard, check the brackets, and it will be official later this evening. But quick scoring recap of this one. It was all Maroons in the first half as they had the ball 6 times and scored all 6 times that they had the ball. Anderson would open up the scoring. He'd find Denmeyer on a deep pass for 42 yards. Mounts PAT would make it 7-0. Kason Brock would take it in from 4 yards out at the 4:41 mark. Mounts PAT would make it 14-0. Ethan Idlewine would have a big night. He would take it in on the next rushing touchdown from 49 yards out. Bryson's PAT would make it 21-0. And before the first quarter was over, with zeros on the clock, Anderson would find Boone Godby from 26 yards out to make it 28-0 after the Mounts PAT. Scoring would not stop in the second quarter as Kason Brock would take it in from 26 yards out. PAT would make it 35-0, and the running clock would be initiated. With 45 seconds remaining before halftime, Anderson would find Idlewine behind the coverage at about the 40-yard line. He would take it all the way in. Total yardage 80 on the play, pass and catch. Mounts PAT would make it 42-0. Madison Southern would get on the scoreboard in the second half as Gabe Beard would find Caden Winkler on a 73-yard pass and catch, making the score 42-7. PC would come back and score there again in the fourth quarter, 5:45 mark. Caden Carrier would get in on the action, take it in from 69 yards out. After the Mounts PAT, score would be 49-7, and Madison Southern would close out the scoring at the 4:40 mark as Gabe Beard would find Braden Hall behind the secondary for 67-yard pass and catch. Final score 49-14.
We'll take a quick look at some Madison Southern stats real quickly. Leading rusher in the game, Kelly, had 25 yards on 13 carries. They only had 31 yards net on the ground for the entire game. Receiving three catches for 81 yards and a touchdown by Hall. And Winkler had a 12-yard touchdown reception. Beard, 6 out of 12 for 174 yards through 2 picks. And I think that'll pretty much wrap what they did. 2 penalties for 10 yards. That's a plus. For Pulaski County, Brock, the first 7 carries of the game were his. He finished the game with 8 carries for 57 yards. 1 rush for Idlewind, a 49-yard touchdown. Adams carried it a couple times for 5 yards. Ford had 3 carries for a net of 0 yards. And Carrier, 12 carries, 116 yards and a touchdown as he came in second half duty and put up some crazy numbers. That was pretty good. Denmeyer, 3 catches, 117 yards, 80 yards. Idlewind, 1 catch for 80 and a touchdown that Chris touched on a moment ago. Godby had 2 catches for 25 yards net and a touchdown. Anderson was 6 of 9 for 202 yards. Adams, by my count, was 0 of 2. Pulaski was penalized 8 times for 75 yards. But all in all, one of those nights that we talked about early, that the first team could get a running game started, might have an advantage in this game, and the first team that did was Pulaski. We talked about the field position being important. Pulaski dominated in that area, and to be honest with you, I ask you on air to get you on record, the first half was the best I've seen this football team play all year. They looked ready, and I think Coach Burns, if we do get up with him in our Out in Blakely post-game show, if we do get up with him, I think he'll have a lot to say about needing to improve, but underneath he'll have a pretty good smile about what he saw tonight in the first half.
I agree with you. I mean, this ball team came out tonight, and as he talked about, kind of tried to light a little fire under his team after last week's performance. Didn't play bad last week, but did some things and wanted to see some improvements, and he got that. So I think he will be happy with the outcome of this one. Couple of hardware to give out. Can't talk enough about how well the Finley brothers played in this game tonight. And so my CAN help case management defensive or lineman of the game is Broderick Finley. Our United Cumberland Bank defensive player of the game with 2 interceptions is Cohen Finley. And then our SEC Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game, we talked a little bit about it, and we both agreed that Ethan Idlewind with a long touchdown run, a long touchdown reception. So we will go with him, but I'm going to give it honorable mention. I'm not allowed to give out 2. I'm only going to give out 1. But honorable mention is going to go to Caden Carrier.
I like the fact he's in there in what would be considered mop-up. That's not what it is, but when you get a chance to play and you run the ball as hard as he ran the ball tonight, it will bear fruit in the future. And the other thing he showed me is once he got onto the edge, young man has got some scoot. He can move. But anyway, it'll be Ethan Idlewind. Congratulations to Ethan Idlewind as our Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game. Partner, you got anything else?
I'm good. I think we can about wrap this up.
I think we had 10-7 Southwestern leading over North Laurel. End of third quarter was the last I heard.
Right.
Somerset, I haven't heard anything in forever from across town. And
no, 14-7 is the last I heard on that one. Then I saw another update that wasn't the same thing. So I don't know.
I don't have a clue. But we'll try to update that, and maybe when we catch Coach Burns, maybe if we do, We will try to have some updates on scores, and they may actually have some. Right. If we give the crowd a minute to get out of here and we meet them down at the locker room, we might find some scores.
So for Mike Kerr, I'm Chris Staten. Hope everyone has a safe and enjoyable weekend and a good week. And we'll be back on the air next Friday night, 7:30, from somewhere on the northern part of the state, probably at the Highlands. But for Mike and Chris, I appreciate all of our sponsors. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. We'll see you next Friday night. 49-14, Maroons victorious. Good night.
Let's see what.